Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news. Today, the 26th of June in the year 2025. Now broadcasting live on Topstar channel 106, Facebook, YouTube and Kenstream app, streaming live as Camnet TV. Let's now take a look at our top stories in the news. HH heeds public outcry on Bill 7, defers process to facilitate broader national consultation. Criminalize torture, Human Rights Commission urges government as cases of inhumane treatment rise. Zambia's inflation drops to 14.1%. In international news this evening, Pope Leo reaffirms clerical celibacy, urges zero tolerance on abuse. And in sports news, CHANDA eyes strong start as Copper Queens gear up for WAFCON opener. Join us for these and many more stories after the break.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Television, not just another channel.
To present Camnet TV main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. A consortium of civil society organizations this morning called for the immediate deferment of Bill number 7 of 2025 to allow for broader national consensus and meaningful stakeholder engagement. The appeal follows a high-level meeting held on June 24 at State House, where President Hakainde Hichilema and civil society leaders agreed on the need to review the proposed constitutional amendments through a joint committee representing both government and civil society. Speaking during a press briefing in Lusaka, Consortium Chairperson Isaac Mwanza said while the group supports constitutional reform in principle, any such process must be democratic, inclusive, and aimed at strengthening, not weakening, the constitutional order. Mr. Mwanza revealed that the consortium had previously written to the Ministry of Justice offering guidance on best practices in constitutional amendment procedures, but received no response. Mr. Mwanza expressed concern that despite the positive engagement and agreement with President Hakainde Hichilema on Bill 7, once it was introduced in Parliament in its original form on June 25, without incorporating the feedback discussed during the State House meeting. The consortium has since urged the Speaker of the National Assembly to give effect to the resolutions agreed upon during the engagement with President Hichilema, including the formation of a multi-stakeholder committee to examine the bill's contents and agree on a realistic and inclusive roadmap.
It was our strong expectations that the formal introduction of the bill would be deferred as discussed with the President to a subsequent sitting of Parliament. This would have allowed the agreed amendment process to proceed in a manner that respects stakeholder input, rooted in inclusivity, transparency and stakeholder consensus. Despite this development, members of the press, we as a consortium remain hopeful. We trust that the President and his administration will honor their commitment to ensuring meaningful consultation through the proposed independent stakeholder committee. This remains a critical opportunity to salvage the integrity of the constitutional amendment process. We also urge all arms of government to remain guided by the principles to uphold the integrity of the constitutional amendment process and help to consolidate efforts by the President to diffuse tension and animosity on this process. The consortium remains fully committed to participating in the agreed stakeholder committee and will contribute constructively to ensure that only those provisions that promote democratic governance, electoral justice, and constitutional balance are retained in the bill. In light of the formal introduction,
Meanwhile, Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has since responded by directing Minister of Justice Princess Kasune to defer the legislative process on Bill number 7 of 2025 to allow for broader national consultations. The directive, made in consultation with Parliament, comes in response to widespread calls from civil society, the church, and other stakeholders for a more inclusive constitutional reform process. The President's decision follows a high-level meeting held at State House on June 24, 2025, where over 30 civil society organizations, church mother bodies, and other stakeholders engaged in dialogue with the head of state. During the meeting, the CSOs raised concerns about the limited stakeholder engagement in the drafting and promotion of the bill. In response, President Hichilema has instructed the Minister of Justice to revisit the current roadmap and proposed amendments in consultation with key actors. President Hichilema emphasized the importance of ensuring that legislative reforms reflect the aspirations and values of all Zambians. He also committed to reviewing the NGO Act and the proposed NGO bill, reiterating the need to protect the independence and operational space of civil society organizations in Zambia. This is according to a statement available to Camnet News by State House Chief Communication Specialist Clayson Hamasaka. Tazama Pipelines Limited has recorded a profit of 632 million kwacha for the financial year 2024, an increase from 538 million kwacha the previous year. The company has also declared a dividend of 105.4 million kwacha to the government, which was officially handed over to the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. This development has been attributed to ongoing energy sector reforms and improved operational efficiency within the pipeline company. Finance and National Planning Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane has declared and described the development as commendable, reflecting the positive impact of ongoing reforms in the energy sector. Dr. Msokotwane noted that as a result of these reforms, the Tazama pipeline has played a significant role across the country. He further highlighted the pipeline's contribution to easing traffic congestion on major roads, which in turn supports the preservation of Zambia's roads infrastructure. Meanwhile, Energy Minister Makozo Chikote praised Tazama's performance, stating that the increase in profits demonstrates the company's strong commitment supporting national economic development.
I want to also state that what we are witnessing today is quite commendable, because it's not many years ago when Tazara management and board will be coming here, the Minister of Finance, to say, give us money to pay salaries, isn't it? But today, they are paying dividends, which is exactly what we want, because investments are made so that you pay dividends. Not again to come and say, by the way, now we have no money to pay salaries, so bring money, the taxpayers, to pay salaries. That is not correct. But beyond that, I also want to say that the reform minister that started 2-3 years ago in the energy sector, the petroleum sector, is beginning to pay dividends. It's beginning to pay dividends.
I am pleased, Honorable Minister, to announce that the Zambia pipeline has recorded commendable financial performance for the financial year ended 31st December 2024, resulting in a net profit of 632.4 million compared to the previous year's net profit of 538.2 million kwacha. From this net profit, the board has approved the declaration of a dividend amounting to 105 million kwacha, 406,120 kwacha, in proportion with the 2/3 shareholding structure, which we are now remitting to the Ministry of Finance and National Planning.
The Human Rights Commission has urged the Zambian government to urgently enact a law that criminalizes torture, citing the continued rise in cases of inhumane treatment, especially during arrests and interrogations. Commission spokesperson and Director of Education, Training and Advocacy, Mwelwa Mlea, said despite the country's ratification of the United Nations Convention Against Torture and the constitutional prohibition of torture under Article 15, Zambia still lacks a specific piece of legislation that defines and penalizes acts of torture. He said this legal gap undermines the ability of law enforcement agencies and the judiciary to effectively hold perpetrators accountable. Mr. Mlea noted that torture remains a serious human rights concern in Zambia, often resulting in victims suffering permanent disabilities, mental health issues, and in some cases, loss of life. He explained that in the absence of a dedicated law, courts often prosecute torture-related offenses as common assault, which falls far short of international standards outlined under the UN Convention. Mr. Mlea stressed that Zambia must align its legal framework with its international obligations by enacting legislation that prescribes appropriate penalties for torture and related abuse.
The Human Rights Commission joins the international community in commemorating the International Day in support of victims of torture. This is in commemoration of the 30th anniversary of the 1984 UN Convention Against Torture, other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment, which came into effect on 26th June 1987. In commemorating this day, the Human Rights Commission wishes to take the opportunity to remind the government of the outstanding obligation to enact a law that criminalizes torture in Zambia. Despite ratifying the UN Convention Against Torture in 1998, Zambia has not enacted a national law that defines what torture is and prescribes penalties against acts of torture. As a result, the courts of law are relying on laws relating to common assault. This is not effective in terms of prohibiting or punishing acts of torture as guided by the UN Convention. This for this reason that we are looking forward to the government to expedite the process of enacting an anti-torture law, so that we are going to protect the lives and the rights of people, because our inspection of detention and correctional facilities and the reports that we are receiving from victims indicate that people have continued suffering acts of torture.
The Zambia Statistics Agency, ZAMSTATS, has announced that the country's annual inflation rate for June 2025 has declined to 14.1%, down from 15.3% recorded in May 2025. The reduction has been attributed to falling food prices, particularly in cereals such as breakfast mielie meal, roller meal, and maize grain, as well as vegetables, beans, sweet potatoes, and a variety of fruits including oranges, apples, and pineapples. ZAMSTAT's acting statistician General Sheila Mdenda stated that the latest data reflects improved food supply conditions which have helped ease inflationary pressures. She noted that the trend, if sustained, could support greater price stability in the coming months. Ms. Mdenda revealed that Zambia's gross domestic product, GDP, grew by 4.5% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to 2.2% recorded during the same period in 2024 last year.
The annual overall inflation rate for June 2025 slowed down to 14.1% from 15.3% recorded in May 2025. This means that on average, prices of goods and services increased by 14.1% between June 2024 and June 2025. This development was mainly attributed to price movements in both food and non-food items, as we shall see in the coming slides. For the annual food inflation, this decreased to 16.7% from 17.9% that was recorded in May 2025. And this was mainly on account of price movements in cereals, including breakfast mielie meal, roller mielie meal, maize grain, SAM, and rice. Also, the other food group price movements, notable price movements was in the food group of vegetables, spinach, Chinese cabbage, dried beans, sweet potatoes, and the other food group we saw some notable price movements was the fruits like oranges, apples, and pineapples. With regards to the annual non-food inflation, this also decreased to 10.3% from 11.6% recorded in May 2025. And this was mainly on account of price movements in purchase of motor vehicles, Toyota Hilux, Nissan Hardbody, as well as passenger transport by air and fuel, that is petrol and diesel and paraffin. We move on to the monthly inflation rate for June 2025. The overall monthly inflation recorded at 0.2% for June 2025, moving from 0.3% that was recorded in May. For the monthly food inflation, this decreased to 0.4% for June from 0.6% recorded in May.
Climate-smart agriculture expert Dr. Oliver Bulaya has reaffirmed the Conservation Farming Unit CFU commitment to promoting sustainable farming practices through cowpea cultivation. Dr. Bulaya said Conservation Farming Unit with support from the CMIT-led vision for adapted crops and soils with 1,500 farmers in southern and central provinces to improve soil health and enhance nutrition using cowpeas, a drought-tolerant and highly nutritious legume. Dr. Bulaya revealed that 418 demonstration plots have already been established, managed by 135 female, 283 male, and 33 youth farmers. These plots serve as practical learning spaces where communities are taught the benefits of crop diversification and soil regeneration. He noted that cowpeas not only improve dietary intake but also enrich the soil with nitrogen, contributing to long-term land productivity. Dr. Bulaya further disclosed that 83 village-based advisors were trained in cowpea recipe production, linking agricultural practices to better nutritional outcomes.
a conservation farming unit for 28 years has been promoting sustainable farming methods embedded in conservation agriculture and climate smart agriculture interventions, and has been pushing the agenda of diversification of cropping systems or farming systems, to protect, the environment and also the biodiversity. In doing this, we've been working together with various, supporting organizations for us to fulfill the mandate. And in this case, the Wheat and Maize Improvement Center, CMIT, under the Vision for Adapted Crops and Soils initiative, supported us in this program to enhance soil health and improve human nutrition through the cultivation of cowpeas, which is highly nutritious. And through these programs, we've carried out various activities from last year to recently. And we established 418 demonstration plots where we engaged about 135 female farmers and 205 male farmers. And in this aspect also, 33 of these plots were managed by youths, underscoring their commitment to sustainable agricultural practices. We further organized 404 field days, attracting about 2,648 female farmers and 3,043 male farmers.
The Lusaka City Council LCC has unveiled street lighting project in partnership with Polish lighting manufacturer LUG Light Factory and the Zambia Road Safety Trust, aimed at improving urban safety and energy efficiency. The project's first phase, which involved the installation of on-grid energy-efficient street lights along Independence Avenue, has been successfully completed. LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba described the initiative as a milestone in the city's efforts to modernize public infrastructure. She noted that the lights installed in Phase 1 utilize advanced technology that significantly reduces power consumption, contributing to both environmental sustainability and reduced operational costs. Phase 2 of the project is said to commence soon, focusing on the installation of solar-powered street lights. The pilot project is being implemented at no cost to the local authority, a testament to the value of collaborative efforts between government institutions, private sector players, and civil society.
Lusaka City Council, in partnership with LUG Light Factory, a Polish company, and Zambia Road Safety Trust, has successfully installed Phase 1 of on-grid streetlights on Independence Avenue, utilizing energy-efficient technology that minimizes power consumption. Phase 2 of the project will commence soon, featuring the installation of solar-powered lights designed with secure battery compartments to prevent theft. The both on-grid and off-grid lighting solution system comes equipped with an advanced technology app that enables remote control and monitoring for efficient management and maintenance. This pilot aims to showcase efficient and powerful luminary system, improving road safety and mobility. The project is being implemented at no cost to the local authority. The partnership highlights the commitment of Lusaka City Council, LUG, and Zambia Road Safety Trust to improving road safety and providing efficient lighting solutions in the city, demonstrating the importance of creating viable partnerships for growth. The Lusaka City Council remains committed to enhancing the quality of life for residents through initiatives like this one.
Government has partnered with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, to implement the Lusaka Clean City project aimed at strengthening solid waste management systems in the capital city. The initiative comes in response to growing concerns over indiscriminate waste disposal, especially in densely populated townships like Kanyama and Chawama, which pose serious public health risks. Speaking during an orientation meeting with Lusaka-based councillors. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary in charge of Technical Services, Nicholas Piri, emphasized the need for civic leaders to play a frontline role in community sensitization. He stressed that without active public engagement, even the most advanced waste systems would struggle to deliver lasting results. Meanwhile, JICA Zambia Office Senior Representative Mr. Keita Izumi reaffirmed the agency's commitment to supporting the development of a comprehensive master plan. He stressed optimism that, once complete, the initiative will significantly enhance the ability of Lusaka Integrated Solid Waste Management Company to deliver reliable services and safeguard urban health and hygiene.
Currently, Lusaka City alone produces an excess of 1.6 tons of solid waste per day. And of that 1.6 tons that we produce, our collection efficiency is somewhere around 35%. The question is, where does the rest of the solid waste generated go? Who is going to collect the solid waste that remains uncollected? What is the immediate, medium-term, and long-term effect? Those questions lie squarely on the shoulders of leadership, the civic leadership, central government, and local authorities.
The JICA has been working with newly established Lusaka Solid Waste Integrated Solid Waste Management Company to tackle solid waste management challenges in Lusaka by conducting the capacity development project. And as we are aware, the challenges we face are significant. The improper disposal of waste by our residents and the inefficiencies in waste collection services have led to the situation where waste accumulated in the streets or posing health risks to the residents of Lusaka.
President Hakainde Hichilema has revealed that Zambia is now earning $70 million from mineral royalties, a significant increase from the previous $15 million. The increase in revenue is attributed to strategic policy reforms introduced by the UPND administration, particularly the shift from a dividend-based model to a royalty-based system. The head of state noted that First Quantum Minerals has emerged as one of the largest contributors to national revenue, refuting claims that government has forfeited tax income in the mining sector. Speaking during a meeting with chief executive officers from banks and other financial institutions, President Hichilema underscored the need for financial institutions to play a more active role in supporting Zambia's economic growth. He pointed to upcoming developments in the mining sector, including the launch of the new metal processing plant at Kansanshi, as key opportunities for enhanced collaboration with the banking sector. The president also called on banks to support the government in addressing residue debt restructuring, particularly with Chinese creditors, as part of the broader strategy to unlock economic growth potential.
Contrary to what my colleagues in the opposition said, that this country, this government has given away revenue from the mines. Not at all. We changed from a simple dividend to a loyalty model. And just to give you an idea, as government before our time, we used to earn somewhere, somewhere in the region of $8 to $15 million from First Quantum. Once we changed that model, we're now earning in the north of $70 million. impact on the treasury, and the business is growing. As you will see, in 1.5 months from now, I'll be officially launching the S3, which will increase the processing of the metal in consumption. There is more work for you around there. And we are happy when we're talking to First Quantum, their process, we're happy to engage with yourselves as one team. How can we help each other? So that most of that business goes to you, the local institutions. Let me declare interest. Your government is moving forward in pushing what we are calling positive discrimination. If you are able to have the first shot at the business at First Quantum, we want First Quantum to give that business to you first. And that's where your consortiuming idea comes in, because of the size of the ticket. So your government want to work with you to ensure that what we call local content includes financial services. Am I losing somebody here? Yeah. Everybody thinks the local content is only for the mining activities, blasting there, rock blasting, moving material to be given to local service providers. We are saying local content include financial services.
You are still watching Camnet TV main news, now broadcasting live on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the CanStream app. We take a break. Join us after this.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farms' commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms, Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for still joining us. And now in international news. Catholic Pope Leo XIV has reaffirmed the Church's stance on clerical celibacy, calling it a vital expression of spiritual commitment, while urging bishops to take decisive action in addressing sexual abuse within the clergy. Addressing over 400 bishops from 38 countries at St. Peter's Basilica on Wednesday, the pontiff underscored the importance of celibacy and chastity as a reflection of Christian discipleship and a means of presenting a pure and authentic image of the Church. He described celibacy not merely as an obsession, but as a deep commitment to living a life of moral integrity and spiritual poverty. Here's a roundup of international stories.
Catholic Pope Leo XIV has affirmed that priests must remain celibate and insisted the Church must take firm and decisive action to deal with sexual abuse by clergymen. He was speaking to over 400 bishops from 38 countries in St. Peter's Basilica on Wednesday, outlining what they must do to lead their congregations.
Insieme alla povertà effettiva,
together with material poverty, the life of the bishop is also marked by that specific form of poverty which is celibacy and virginity, for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. This is not simply a matter of being celibate, but of practicing chastity of heart and conduct, and in this way living a life of Christian discipleship and presenting to all the authentic image of the Church, holy and chaste in her members as in her head. He must be firm and decisive in dealing with situations that can cause scandal and with every case of abuse, especially involving minors, and fully respect the legislation currently in force. It was the second time in a week that the pontiff has commented publicly on sex scandals which have rocked the Church for decades. He said there should be zero tolerance for any kind of abuse, urging bishops to live in poverty and simplicity and be close to their flocks in both word and deed.
The United Nations chief warned on Thursday of a high number of armed conflicts in the world as he marked the responsibility to protect anniversary. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres further called on member states to remain committed to their responsibility to protect against violence. The responsibility to protect was adopted by the UN in 2005.
We mark the 20th anniversary of the responsibility to protect at a time of profound global turbulence. We are witnessing the highest number of armed conflicts since the end of the Second World War. And these are marked by rising identity-based violence, widespread violations of international humanitarian law and human rights law, and deepening impunity. On this anniversary, we must recognize that the responsibility to protect is more than a principle. It's a moral imperative rooted in our shared humanity and the UN Charter.
Outlining the World Summit outcome document, the principle calls on member states to protect their population from genocide, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity.
At least 29 students have been killed and more than 250 injured in a stampede at a high school in Bangui, capital of the Central African Republic. An electrical explosion triggered panic among more than 5,000 students sitting their final exams at Barthelemy Baganda High School, according to local authorities. The explosion occurred on Wednesday when power was being restored to an electrical transformer within the school premises after it malfunctioned.
And finally, in sports news this evening, Copper Queens midfielder Grace Chanda has expressed confidence ahead of Zambia's opening clash against Morocco at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON, as the national team prepares for their third consecutive appearance at the prestigious tournament. Speaking to FAR's media team, Chanda said the squad is fully prepared and focused, describing the team's morale as high and the spirit in camp as strong and determined. Chanda, one of Zambia's most experienced players, emphasized the team's commitment to giving their all on the pitch stating that hard work and unity have defined their preparations. The midfielder also made a passionate appeal to fans and Zambians at large to rally behind the team throughout the tournament. As the tournament kicks off, the Copper Queens are aiming to build on their historic semi-final finish in the previous edition.
Excited because it's not easy to play three tournaments. It's not easy. So I'm so happy, I'm so excited to come back again. I think the group is not easy because our group is hard, so we have just to work extra hard to perform well, to do our best. I'm so happy because it's not easy to miss a lot of games, a lot of preparation, but I'm so happy to be back in the team. I'm ready to do what I have, to put more I have, the what I prepared from the last year, so I'm ready. I'll do my best. I think the target this tournament, we have to finish what we left behind, so we have to finish now because we are full squad, so we have just to put more extra hard to finish on the top. Yeah, Morocco is not an easy game, it's a tough game, so we have just to prepare our mind because even Morocco, they are prepared well. Even us, we have just to be ready to face Morocco. We have just to get the 3 points on the first game because first game is important to the tournament. So we have just to put more 100%. I think it's myself and to work extra hard, and for my family, even my friends, because they always encourage me to always work extra hard. Even myself, I always put 100%. When I'm not playing, I have to work extra hard to be back in the team. Yeah, the message to the fans, us, just keep supporting us. As we deliver the points, we deliver the happiness for you. We are ready for the tournament.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, let's take a look at stories that made headlines. HH heeds public outcry on Bill 7, defers process to facilitate broader national consultation. Criminalize torture, Human Rights Commission urges government as cases of inhumane treatment rise. Zambia's inflation drops to 14.1%. Pope Leo XIV reaffirms clerical celibacy, urges zero tolerance on abuse. Grace Chanda eyes strong start as Copper Queens gear up for WAFCON. The reading, and that ends the main news bulletin on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, do remember, like always, that Camnet TV is not just another channel, now broadcasting live on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and CanStream app as Camnet TV. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.